Money. It's not just coins jingling in your pocket or numbers flashing on a bank app. It's a story. Your story. Some people chase it like a runner chasing a finish line that keeps moving. Others grab hold of it only to find it slipping through their fingers like sand. And a few, very few, learn to dance with it, balancing cold numbers with the warmth of human nature. Money isn't just math, spreadsheets, or calculators. It's about the choices we make late at night or around the dinner table with family, choices shaped by pride, fear, hope, and the stories of our past. This is inspired by Morgan Housel's incredible book, The Psychology of Money. Let's dive into the strange, human, and sometimes mysterious side of money, a side that pulls us in, confuses us, and changes us. Your financial DNA is shaped by experience. We all come from different worlds. Our parents earned different incomes, held different values. We grew up in different cities, maybe New York, Chicago, or a small town in Ohio. Some of us saw wealth, others saw struggle. Some lived through economic booms, others through recessions. These experiences, our financial DNA, shape how we think about money. Let's look at two friends, Sarah and Mike, both from the USA. Sarah grew up in the 1980s. As a teenager, she saw the stock market soar. The S&P 500 nearly tripled during her 20s. For her, investing feels like a golden opportunity, a game where winning seems possible. She buys stocks confidently and trusts the market's growth. Mike's story is different. He came of age in the 1970s, a time of high inflation. He watched his parents worry as grocery prices doubled overnight. For him, money is a shield against uncertainty. The stock market? He sees it as a risky bet. He prefers safe savings accounts. Are either of them wrong? Housel says, people do some crazy things with money. But no one is crazy. We all make financial choices based on our unique experiences, the lessons our parents taught us, and the world we've seen. Our decisions make sense to us, even if they seem odd to others. The magic of compounding. Time is your superpower. Let's talk about a man who turned time into his greatest ally, Warren Buffett. His name brings to mind billions of dollars, the wizard of investing. But here's a surprising fact. Of his $84.5 billion fortune, $81.5 billion was earned after his mid-60s. This wasn't just skill. It was the magic of compounding. Buffett started investing at age 10. While other kids were collecting baseball cards, he was buying stocks. He let time work its magic. Here's how compounding works. Imagine you invest $1,000 at an 8% interest rate. After 1 year, you earn $80. The next year, you earn 8% on $1,080, which is $86.40. Each year, you earn interest not just on your original money, but also on the interest you've already earned. It's like a snowball rolling down a hill, growing bigger with every turn. What if Buffett had waited? Picture this. If he started investing at 30 with $25,000 and still achieved his incredible 22% annual return, his wealth today would be about $11.9 million. That's a lot, but it's a tiny fraction of his actual $84.5 billion. The secret? Buffett's success comes from starting early and letting compounding do the heavy lifting. Here's another story. Meet Jim Simons, a hedge fund genius. From 1988, he earned a staggering 66% annual return, way higher than Buffett's. Yet his wealth is $21 billion, 75% less than Buffett's. Because Simons didn't build his position until he was 50. He had less time for compounding to work its magic. Housel estimates that if Simons had invested for as long as Buffett, his wealth would be 63 quintillion, 900 quadrillion, 781 trillion, 780 billion, 748 million, $160,000. That number is so big it's hard to wrap your head around. The lesson? Time is the secret ingredient that fuels compounding. Start early, and your snowball grows massive. The pull of pessimism. Why we fear money. Money and pessimism go hand in hand. Our brains are wired to notice bad news more than good. A 40% stock market crash grabs headlines. People panic. Governments step in. But a slow, steady 140% gain over years? It's like morning sunlight, quietly spreading, barely noticed. Why is that? Bad news is loud and fast. It shakes us. Good things like economic growth or medical breakthroughs take time. Over the past 50 years, medical advances have saved millions of lives in the USA alone. Do we talk about that daily? We focus on terrorist attacks, plane crashes, or natural disasters because they demand our attention. Money works the same way. When the economy stumbles, we feel the fear. But history shows that over time, things get better. The stock market, on average, grows every year. Yet we fixate on the dips. Housel says, optimism is believing that, over time, things will work out in your favor, even if there are bumps along the way. So, next time you hear about a market crash, take a deep breath. History favors the optimist. Luck and risk, the unseen forces. 1968, Seattle. A small school called Lakeside. Out of 300 million high school students worldwide, only 300 went to Lakeside. And that school had something special, a teletype Model 30 computer. At the time, this was no ordinary machine. Even university students rarely had access to such technology. Among those 300 students were Bill Gates, Paul Allen, and Kent Evans. All three were brilliant. All three had big dreams. But luck chose only two. Bill and Paul went on to found Microsoft. His story ended in tragedy. Before graduating high school, a climbing accident took his life. Luck and risk. They're like twin siblings, guiding the sails of our lives. You can steer the boat, but you can't control the wind or the waves. Bill Gates himself said, if there hadn't been Lakeside, there wouldn't be Microsoft. Kent's story reminds us that talent and hard work aren't enough. Luck and risk play a huge role in our financial journeys. The lesson? Success isn't just about your choices. It's also about those unpredictable moments beyond your control. Accepting this makes you humble. It reminds you that every success story has a touch of luck.
You are watching Englisher. Learn English by listening and reading practice.
The key to happiness, control over your time. Why do we want money? To be happy. But Housel says, the key to happiness is the ability to do what you want, when you want, with who you want, for as long as you want. It's not about the big house, the shiny car, or the designer watch. It's about freedom, control over your time. Imagine this. You drive a fancy Tesla, but you work from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Does that car make you happy? Probably not. Now imagine, you live in a modest apartment, but you can spend every evening playing with your kids or reading a book. That's real wealth. Studies show that control over your time is the biggest predictor of happiness. More than your salary, your house, or your job title. Money is just a tool. If you pour it into a leaky bucket, a life where you have no control, it'll never bring lasting joy. Long tales, when a few things matter most. Meet Heinz Berggruen. He fled Nazi Germany, arrived in the USA, and became one of the most successful art dealers ever. He collected works by Picasso, Klee, and Matisse. In 2000, he sold part of his collection for over $100 million. His secret? He wasn't always right. He bought hundreds of paintings. Most, maybe 99%, were average. But 1%? They were Picasso's. This is called the long tail. When a few rare events drive most of your results. It's everywhere in investing. In venture capital, 90% of startups fail. But one or two, like Amazon or Google, deliver 20x returns. Take Amazon. Its growth came from two big wins, Amazon Prime and AWS. Other experiments, like the Fire Phone, they flopped. But Jeff Bezos said, if you think that's a big failure, we're working on much bigger ones. The lesson? Success doesn't mean being right every time. It means winning big on a few bets. And that requires embracing failure along the way. Rich versus wealthy, the hidden difference. Being rich and being wealthy are not the same. Rich is what you see, the flashy car, the big house, the designer clothes. Wealthy is what you don't see, investments, savings, and security for the future. Picture this. Your neighbor drives a Ferrari. You think, wow, they're rich. But what if that car was bought on credit? Real wealth is hidden. It's the money you don't spend, the investments you make for tomorrow. The key to wealth? Self-control. Every time you say no to an expensive purchase, you're investing in your future. The real cost, embracing risk and uncertainty. Investing is like climbing a mountain. You dream of the view from the top. But the path? It's full of surprises. Sunny days, sudden storms. Clear trails, rocky paths. You know there's a price to pay to reach the summit. The stock market is no different. People think they can avoid risk and still get rewards. But Housel says, the price of success is uncertainty and volatility. From 1950 to 2019, the Dow Jones returned about 11% per year. But those 69 years were a roller coaster of ups and downs. Investing means embracing the market's ups and downs. It means accepting fear, doubt, and uncertainty. The lesson? Every reward has a cost. That cost isn't just money, it's the emotions you navigate along the way. The hedonic treadmill. Knowing when enough is enough. Chasing money is like running on a treadmill. You hit a goal, but then the goal moves further away. Take Bernie Madoff or Raj Rajaratnam. They had everything, millions, power, status. But enough was never enough. They turned to crime to chase more. Housel says, true happiness comes from knowing when to stop. The pursuit of wealth without knowing enough is like climbing a ladder that never ends. No matter how high you go, there's always another rung. Conclusion: the human face of money. Money isn't just numbers. It's a mirror of our stories, our fears, our dreams. It's the magic of compounding, turning a snowball into a mountain over time. It's the dance of luck and risk, lifting us to the top or pulling us down. It's the self-control that builds wealth, not flashiness. And most importantly, it's the freedom to own your time. So, next time you think about money, don't see it as just a number. See it as a story. Your story. Show in sidebar.